Hey guys, Desolator Magic here. Breaking news as of July. The Judge program is coming back in-house. That's right. Wizards of the Coast is bringing it back. They're going to run it themselves, allegedly. There's no formal information, but I also wouldn't call this just like a random leak from someone who knows someone who totally works there. Trust me, wink, wink. It's kind of in the middle. All people saw was a job listing for Magic Judge Program Manager on Hasbro's website. So there's no big announcement on like WOTC's website saying, hey, we're making a change to the Judge program and bringing it back. Whoa. But like, what else would that mean? What else would that job position do? It doesn't say External Judge Foundation Liaison, and honestly, that wouldn't be a full-time job anyway, in my opinion. So let's get you caught up if you're new to this or you just don't remember like I didn't and I had to even look it up. In 2019, they started the Judge Academy, and boy, were people pissed because now instead of them barely sort of compensating / paying you to be a judge, you had to pay to be a judge. That's ridiculous. You're already volunteering your time. You're usually not being compensated unless the local tournament, local store is doing so. And usually they would just be like, well, here's your promo, wink, wink, nod, nod. It's totally not a payment. And then you can just go flip it for like $400 online. But I mean, with travel expenses, hotel, I mean, you weren't really getting compensated, you know what I mean? But man, I tell you, $400 a year for like the top level, I believe is what it was. There was accusations of them possibly operating in like a pyramid scheme type resembling structure. And despite pyramids being the strongest architectural shape, they collapsed in 2023, leaving there no way to be a Magic Judge. But there were some issues. I mean, like, there was, like, promos not getting shipped out on time or at all, and just general issues. I think somebody was just like, yeah, I could do this. I'm a manager. I'm a go-getter. And then the reality of all the things they had to do set in, and then they started to lose motivation. I mean, you've seen it a million times with, like, small businesses and stuff. That was the overall impression I got without any kind of insider knowledge. And so in late 2023, WOTC just announced we're ending our partnership with Judge Academy, and that was it. Like, there was almost no details, just that statement pretty much. Yeah, if you charge money and then don't run it properly and don't do your job, usually that'll be the end of the partnership. So fast forward, believe it or not, about 10 months, they've fully shut down. Like, we're talking no more Discord channel, websites done, just goodbye. I guess it took them that long to find someone to like send the judge, like the existing judge registration records to, among other things. I should probably mention the number one accusation that thought this was obvious, but not if you don't remember it. They wanted a whole bunch of volunteer labor to prop up a paid service. So they wanted other people to work for free while they made money. That's a bad business model. So who's running the program now? Well, there's something called Judge Foundry. I'm not real familiar. I assume they're the ones operating magicjudges.org, but I don't know. It all was kind of thrown together. They do currently have some kind of nomination thing for like really high performing judges where you can like give them the Nobel Prize or something. I don't know. So what's the plan going forward? Well, the job listing said you're going to work with the internal team members and third-party organizations, plural, to ensure operational excellence in the judge deployment and performance at events. So it sounds like they don't necessarily want to manage it themselves. They're just going to let volunteers do it for free, but for no money? How's that going to work better than like doing it with a budget and mostly volunteers that felt ripped off by the program? I think this is the first step to bringing it in-house. I think that line is just what you're going to do initially. It could be anything from, okay, I'm your contact person, which once again does not sound like a 40-hour-a-week job, or it's going to be more like, we'll let you post some stuff, but you get it from us. Like, you can do your own little training thing. Here's all the materials. We manage everything. We hold the certifications. We've got the database. I think that's more what they're going to, because anything else won't work and won't be durable. Or they have absolutely no idea they need to do something. And so they threw the job listing out there, and they're going to let the person decide what the best course of action is because they'll run the whole program. That, knowing Hasbro and WOTC's history, is more likely if you ask me. Now, something interesting I saw was a completely different interpretation of the general job listings description, where they could be talking about tournament organizers as the third parties. Because they did say excellence in judge deployment and performance at events. And that would mean WOTC's 100% bringing it in-house. And honestly, one paid person where it's their full-time job, I think they could run it. It's not that complicated. In worst case, if you need to bring in, someone to crunch a whole bunch of numbers, you just get like some temp labor or borrow someone from a different division. And that would probably just be like the initial thing, like the person planning it and running it isn't going to be like typing data and doing data entry into a spreadsheet, probably. I mean, if it was me, I would do it. So it depends who they get. But I mean, they're basically in Seattle. They're not going to get someone who's hardworking. Instead of giving the summary, I might as well just like read it and point out some stuff. You can make your own conclusions. So they say, we're looking for a passionate and experienced manager - magic judge program. They just pasted it in from a form, which is, sure. To lead the strategic development and execution of the Magic the Gathering Judge Program. In this role, he will ensure judges are empowered, supported, and equipped to maintain integrity, consistency, and high-quality player experiences across all levels of play. That sounds an awful lot like you're going to manage the educational stuff and the certifications. I mean, just saying. As a member of the play team, you will collaborate closely with teams including events, communications, marketing, and other cross-functional teams to cultivate a professional and diverse, judge program that supports in-store, regional, and premier level events. I actually do think we need more diversity in the judge program. It's pretty much dominated by far-left lunatics and trans people at this point. And I have a lot of anecdotes of them being extremely exclusionary to anybody who's not in those two groups. So yes, they do need to promote diversity. Wouldn't that be nice? So in the what you'll do area, it's bullet points, and this is where it gets interesting. Build, own, and evolve the vision, structure, and execution of the Magic the Gathering Judge Program globally. Develop certification pathways, advancement criteria, and continuing education tools for judges at all experience levels. So you could host them yourself, or you could hand them off to third parties. What's the difference? More complications if you do it with a third party. Just do it in-house. I mean, all this points to in-house to me. On first read, that's kind of what I got from it. Work with the internal team members and third-party organizations to ensure operational excellence in judge deployment and performance at events. So see that more in context, I'm just saying. Establish and maintain a code of conduct, disciplinary procedures, and support systems to ensure a respectable and safe judging environment. Build scalable systems for judge recruitment, training, recognition, and retention. Once again, internally or externally. Might be their choice. I feel like it would have said develop third party or work with partners if that's what they meant. But at least like in the IT world where I work, if you say build, we're doing it in-house. That's a definition of build. So advocate for program requirements and cross-functional meetings and long-term planning. Act as a liaison between Wizards and the global judge community. Now see, that's interesting. Providing regular communication and support. What could that mean? Could that mean the various certification people and the nonprofits or whatever doing it right now, the volunteers doing it right now? Or literally the judge community, as in the community of judges? You can interpret almost every line two different ways, which is why people are going nuts over this. And then finally, monitor program metrics and feedback to continuously refine and improve outcomes, which makes it sound like you're not telling third parties how to do their jobs. You're tweaking your internal program. So they want someone with like 5 years of event experience, event operations, that kind of stuff. That kind of makes sense. Deep knowledge of the Magic the Gathering play events, so they want someone like who's a player, not some suit. I think it could go either way, but if you don't understand the culture and how the events work, you're gonna not working off of a strong fundamental basis and might miss some really obvious things. Now, they wanted someone who has the proven ability to build systems and programs that scale globally. There is the key, okay? Unless you're going to speak like 10 different languages, you're going to be working with third-party organizations and volunteer groups and whatever else for like the judge system in Latvia. Spain, Mexico, Brazil, like anywhere else. Like, okay, cool, you got to have judges there too. So I think the whole non-English language stuff, that's probably where they're kind of hinting at it, you working with third parties. I think every other line is like, no, for America, for the core, we're bringing it back, we're running it. It's an embarrassment that we just have people like going out there charging money and then nosediving within like 3 years. That's just not good for the brand, and we can't really have people that are too lazy to do the job manage it and then crash and burn that quick. it really makes them look like not like a prestigious brand who like has their stuff together. And these tournaments, I mean, look at the prize money on the line, the amount of cheating and accusations of cheating and people being found cheating. Like, you need to clean it up, and the only way to do that is to self-police, not hope that somebody volunteers / sets up a business model for you that's kind of sustainable and then stays doing it for 10 years. You can't. It doesn't work, and I think that's why they're hiring for this. So I know everybody's going to ask, ha ha ha, Des, are you applying to this? I did see the line that was concerning, which is all of it. If you were to take the whole job listing and put it in one continuous line, it's just one big red flag about, oh my gosh, don't work for this shit company. But there's another line that says 102 to 162,200 starting salaries. So yeah, your boy's up for it. I'm putting in an application right now. I would just love to move to Renton, the ass crack of Seattle. I bet the first 80K would go just to an apartment, a 1-bedroom, 400 square foot apartment. So since this has already been memed to death and covered in a bunch of social media platforms that are even more critical of the game than mine, let's put it that way, I'm sure that they weren't flooded with troll and time waster applications. I would never encourage people to do that. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.